Welcome to Crossbody of Work. My name is Evan.
I am Javier.
I am on a generational exhaustion run. I just had a really long work week this week of travel, but we're here. We are recording. It's Friday. Very exciting stuff. And we are talking about Kaitlyn.
Kaitlyn, who has just like my favorite thing that people do is when they take like normal names and do their best to like spice them up. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And they definitely did that with Kaitlyn. Why is it Kaitlyn? Why?
I don't know.
They do that.
It's good, though. Is she your favorite Kaitlyn? Or is that Caitlin Clark?
Different spelling, but it's
Anything that is a Kate and a Lynn, I am lumping together.
yes, it's it's Caitlin Clark. I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen her play a few times this year.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Not going to say she's the one that's gotten me interested into the WNBA because that started happening 2 years ago, but
Still pretty
she's
good.
famous and she's real good.
WNBA playoffs start the weekend, I believe, that we are recording this. So very
Yes,
exciting.
and she dragged her team right into there.
Just kicking and screaming. We are in the fucking playoffs, even if you don't want to. All right, we're talking about Kaitlyn, also known as Celeste Bonin. Her middle name is Beryl. Not like a barrel. Not like
a barrel of
not like fish in a barrel.
whiskey.
Yeah. No, Beryl. Beryl. Celeste Beryl Bonin.
I'm pretty sure that's a gun in Call of Duty. Just putting that out there.
The bear.
It's either Call of Duty or PUBG. It's one of those.
PUBG. I haven't heard a PUBG mention in years.
I played PUBG like 2 nights ago. We played 3 games. We won 2 of them. So,
I was on the road for work this week, and I obviously first I missed my wife. Second, I missed my cat. Third, I missed my bed. Fourth, I missed college football. I've missed college football 25.
I've been playing 2K. I've been playing a lot of 2K. It's that time of year.
I only do the 2K grind once it's on for dirt cheap, and then I am a 60 overall playing against 90s, and it's a fucking miserable time.
I always get the highest edition because that's the one that also includes League Pass, and I'm going to get both things. So I just get that version because, yes, 130, 40, whatever dollars is terrifying. But also League Pass is like 100 and something dollars, and the game is like 70. So I'm actually just, I'm getting discounted overall.
Follow us for more financial tips. All right, so before we dive into everything, make sure you are listening to the podcast everywhere and subscribed to it, whether that's on YouTube or wherever you're getting your podcast. Make sure you're rating, subscribing, all of that good stuff. Yes. Following us on social media at Crossbody of Work on the Twitter and the Instagram. You and I were talking before about Kaitlyn and the fact that both of us missed her whole run pretty much.
Yeah.
It's one of those, she's a rare career that falls squarely in both of our Lou periods.
She was like completely done by the time I got back.
And she was like on her way out when I started again.
I caught the very beginnings of it. Like I remember the NXT that she was on.
Yeah.
But aside from that, like I basically missed her entire run. Like I was very much in and out my last like 2 years before I decided to, punt and move away from wrestling. And
I needed to punt.
Yeah, I mean and by that point, that's when she like, when I stopped watching, that's when she like made a name for herself. And by the time I got back, she was already gone from the company. So
yeah,
that's how fair. It is.
So what do you know about Kaitlyn?
I know that she's a former Divas champion.
Correct.
She looks like her look, not the physique, but her look is very much like Velvet Sky.
Yeah, there's a lot of overlap there. I see that.
A lot of overlap there, especially like gear, hair, all that. I'm not gonna
it's the dark undertones with the blonde on top. That
yeah, like I'm not gonna say that it was a like for like match or that she took inspiration from Velvet Sky because let's be honest, that's what a lot of people looked like in the early dimes.
In the early dimes, that was a popular style.
Yes, and also before like 6 years ago, however many years ago it was, most women's wrestlers they pretty much just had like 3 different ring gears to choose from, and Kaitlyn's was one of them.
You're not wrong. I just looked up for fun. It was like early 2010s trends, and there's some bad ones, man.
I just had my friends just threw a party over the weekend,
Yeah, you're
and
telling me about this. Yeah.
this theme was swag era. And for those who don't know what the swag era is, it's like, yeah, Evan's doing it now. You know, you wear a snapback, the ripped skinny jeans, you're a jerk, the Dougie, all that, Soldier Boy. It's basically like 2009-ish to like let's say somewhere like 2013, 14, 15 maybe even. Then the summer of 2016 came around and we all changed for the better.
It's true. We all got better. The one that I don't like, I don't fully comprehend. Like, I started university in 2010, and like girls were like business casual to the club. They were in like pencil skirts and shit. And I remember thinking at the time, like they all look nice, but like they look like they also could get like a job interview like a Barnes and Noble right now. Like, and then it became jeans and a going out top. It was always, hey, what are you wearing tonight? Jeans and a going out top. I got roasted. I remember one time by a buddy of mine who you met, best man at my wedding. I was like, we were going to go out that night, and I was like, oh, I got to go change. And he's like, oh, into your black T-shirt? I was like, what? He's like, you always wear a black T-shirt. I was like, no, I don't. And then we looked through photos from the last couple of weeks. And I was like, fuck, I keep wearing a black T-shirt.
I mean, listen, there's nothing more reliable than a black
Then a
t-shirt.
black T-shirt. Thank you.
Like you're in college, you don't have an animal, so you don't have to worry about hair getting all over you from like
Fuck.
a cat or a
And
dog or
now
something like
I
that.
do all the time. I keep a lint roller
Yeah.
in my desk at work, one at the front door of my house because it's always there.
You have one?
No, I have one.
I have four. No,
No,
I have four
no, like I
at
have
the
them
front door.
loaded, but I have one at the front door. I have one at the desk, like ready to roll.
Like
Ready to roll.
it's honestly, I've kind of given up at this point. Like,
I am
just
just part of the
whatever
cat
happens,
hair.
happens
It's
at this
fine.
point.
All right,
Kaitlyn,
back to the actual Kaitlyn of it all. So Celeste Bonin started her career as a body fitness model. Not a surprise.
not surprising at all.
That is a strong pipeline for the WWE Women's Developmental, especially in the late aughts, early dimes. In 2007, she won the National Physique Committee John Sherman Classic Bodybuilding Figure and Fitness Championship. I think they could fit a couple more words in there if they really wanted to. Why not make it the National Physique Committee John Sherman Classic Bodybuilding Figure and Fitness Championship of Latter-day Saints? She also came fifth in the Arnold Classic. And then in July 2010, signed a developmental contract with WWE.
Have you ever noticed how like the names of events and tournaments like that are always like so generic? I know they're based off of someone who like
Yeah.
had a hand in the
Yeah.
creation of it, and or like inspiration behind it. Like the Arnold Classic is Arnold Schwarzenegger, and
Yeah.
that's fine. But
Makes
also,
sense.
can we call it like the Schwarzenegger Invitational or something? Like make it different. Why does it have to be? Why John Sherman?
If you
Why is it always like a generic kind of name? Classic or
if
tournament
you
or
got like an event named after you, what do you want the event to be?
Oh, that's a good one. To see, my name's hard because there's not really like you kind of have to put like something that won't rhyme. Like it can't be like a sensational like a sherry
You don't have a lot of
invitational
alliteration
or
options.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, like because I've got Javier and then Mellow.
Yeah.
Like what goes with that? No,
Magnificent Mellow something invitational.
no, that's not working.
That's working.
Just give me like the Mellow Classic or something like that. Like I don't want it to be the Javier Mellow Invitational. That's boring. I don't want that in my memory. Give me the Mellow Classic. Give me the Mellow Tournament.
Mm.
The ooh
Like
right here.
what event do you want it to be? Like what kind of event?
It's fuck if I know. I don't know. Let's say I got really good at golf. I don't want there to be like the Arnold Palmer Classic. Like I don't want that to be my thing. Instead of there being a Masters, give me the Javier Mello like Cirque. I don't even know. Like just figure it out. Give me something like from a different language and make it here.
Just give me the Evans Buffalo Wing Eating Jamboree, and I'll be happy. Just a jamboree. You can tell
Listen,
me you have
man.
a bad time at a jamboree? Get out of here. Get out of here.
All I'm saying is like not chicken wings specifically, because there's like a technique to eating chicken wings super
Hmm.
fast that I would never do, where it's like, the snap and then you pull with your teeth and all that stuff. That eats it like that, and you don't get to enjoy it. I don't really like. I don't mess with that. I like to enjoy my chicken wings bone in, of course.
Of
But
course.
if you're telling me if you're getting like a chicken tender tournament going right here, unless we're going like against legit like semi pros or like pros, like food eaters, if you put me with a bunch of amateurs, I like my chances.
In terms of wing eating contests, I would never be good at speed, but I am good at long. I'm a marathon runner of wing eating contests. I will
Pizza,
I will stay
forget about
sat.
it.
Anyways, I love the distractions that we already have already. I'm so tired today. So, Bonner reported to FCW, which of course was WWE's developmental territory. At first, she was competing under her real name. Her name was then changed to Ricky Vaughn, Ricky with an I. Ricky Vaughn, not the worst name I've heard
Yo,
in
this
FCW
is
history.
like no, but also like, what are we doing? Why do they do this? Why can't people just be named normal things?
She made her debut on the August 29th episode of FCW as a lumberjill between a match between AJ Lee and Naomi. And on November 7th, had her first match in a tag match. She teamed with Naomi to defeat AJ and Oksana. On September 7th of 2010, as you mentioned earlier, Kaitlyn would join season 3 of NXT, which was the all women's version of NXT. And she had Vicky Guerrero as her on-screen mentor. She was the replacement of Vicky's original rookie, Aloysia? I don't know how to pronounce that. Aloisia. Aloysia.
Al- Eloise,
Robert Loja.
Aloisa. I don't know.
Aloysia. And so we get Kaitlyn's second ever match, which happened on NXT. It is her teaming with Dolph Ziggler against AJ Lee and Primo, September 14th, 2010.
I tried finding her first one, but I couldn't.
No.
So this is as good as I was gonna get.
Vicky is not happy with Kaitlyn because she embarrasses her.
Yeah. Big issue I'm having here, Evan.
Okay.
Um, why is Vicky Guerrero a coach?
I don't know. Apparently, she like strong armed her way into being a coach because she thought she had enough information and
But
experience to be a
here's the thing.
coach.
Here's the thing, is that she was shoot married to a wrestler, and
Yes.
then she kayfabe dated two of them.
Yes.
Um, she didn't wrestle though.
Yes.
So how is she going to coach a wrestler when she herself never did the wrestling?
Yes.
Understandable.
Yes.
Yeah, she
Have a great
hates
day.
she hates Caitlyn. She brings out her boyfriend, Dolph Ziggler, who's going
Ziggles.
to partner up with Caitlyn in this match against AJ Lee, who's
I
just
see.
AJ at this point,
I
and
see
Primo.
Champ Ziggler, by the way, with the palest blonde hair I've ever seen on a human being.
And the I am
It's a
perfection.
good theme. It's not as good as his other theme, but it's a good theme.
No. Uh, who would that be good for?
Who gets in the next narcissist gimmick? Like Austin
No,
Theory?
like just anybody. Just anybody. Like pick anybody in wrestling now. If you could just attach it to them, you get to pick their gimmick for them. They don't have to keep the same gimmick.
Sammy
If you want
Guevara
to.
coming to WWE.
No,
Yes.
no,
Yes.
no.
Mm.
For multiple reasons. One, he's not attractive enough for it. Two, it should be Otis.
But God, that's so much better. I hate heel Michael Cole so much. I
I
can't
muted it. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I muted it.
can't put it into
I
words.
immediately heard him say something like heelish, and I was out.
So the reason that Vicky's mad at Kaitlyn is because there was a promo battle the week before. Kaitlyn went to attack AJ at Vicky's insistence, but AJ reversed and pushed her into Vicky, and Vicky got mad. In terms of the actual match in here, it starts with Ziggler and Primo. Ziggler gets clocked in the face and immediately tags out.
Yeah.
He is not about that
Um,
smoke.
AJ starts grappling like very well with Caitlyn.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking like the whole time I'm watching this. I'm like, damn, I really wish like WWE had just given her like more than Natalia in the division that could actually like go in the
Yeah.
ring.
And like it's funny because we're gonna see over the course of Kaitlyn's career, Kaitlyn gets so much better. Like
Yeah.
Kaitlyn develops so well and is the only other person that AJ can work with and have like
Oh,
cool like the AJ
absolutely.
match we watched later rules. It's a really good match.
Yes, yes. And I'm not like discounting.
They just had such a good talent in AJ, and they were like, let's just not submit. This is how I feel Mike Trout
Yeah.
feels on the Angels. He's just like, are you fucking kidding me?
He felt really good for a little bit there with Shohei. And then he was like, all right, we got that. Can we like
Have more?
yes. All right, cool. Logan O'Hoppy's here. Oh wait, Shohei's gone?
It's so hard out
Shohei's
here.
gone?
I'm so glad Shohei gets to play in the playoffs. Kaitlyn, she gets a shoulder tackle. Yeah, there's some like right hand.
I will say, as far as Kaitlyn goes here, the moves and the selling look good.
Yeah,
They look good for her second ever match,
for sure.
wrestling match. Like this is literally the second thing in cage match for her wrestling wise. And cage
Yeah.
match, for those who do not know, includes live events, like house shows, anything, literally anything that they wrestle
match.
in.
Yeah,
Not even recorded. Literally anytime they wrestle, that's like in front of a crowd or something, or like just a show that's being put on.
yeah. Not. I don't mean like video recorded. I mean like any
Yes.
match that like there's notes that said like this match happened.
Yes.
They have it on there.
That is not just like a practice at the performance center. This is like a real thing that occurred at a show, an event, whatever. That is put into cage match. This is the second thing there. And so like, you know, the moves, the selling, they look good for, especially for where she's at. Like I would say she's advanced in those departments. However, the movement in the ring is bad.
It's
bad.
It's uncomfortable. Like she is not used to the space. You can tell she's not a lot of time in the space
at all.
Yeah,
the timing, she's not used to the timing at all. She's still very much figuring that aspect of it, which admittedly is probably the hardest part of wrestling, is figuring out the movement and the aspect and learning to get crisp with these things. And like, you know, that just comes with experience that she obviously does not have, as this is her second ever match. But
yeah,
you know, you definitely see the improvement as the matches go, but I have to point it out because we're covering the match.
There's a crossbody for a 1, big clothesline by Kaitlyn. We get the tag to Ziggler. He knocks Primo off the apron immediately and then stands between AJ and Primo. AJ with some rights to Dolph. She's not fucking around. She's throwing hands. Gets the tag to Primo. Rate the Primo Cologne hot tag.
It's fun.
It's
a very fun one with drop kicks, all this stuff. I gave it a solid 6.8.
Yeah. Big clothesline coming out of the corner, leg sweep for a 2 count. Then we get the finish. Ziggler dodges a corner splash from Primo, immediately hits a zigzag, and gets the pin. Kaitlyn wins her second ever match.
She wins. She jumps into Dolph's arms for a celebratory hug. He kind of exits on though. You can see it a little bit, especially like they do it multiple times. Like she jumps out to multiple times for a hug. The first time she just does out of impulse because that's kind of what you do. I mean,
when you are a winner, yeah.
When you won and you're excited about it, especially when it's your second match. This is her first win, I think. I think she lost her first match. And then they keep going. They do celebratory hugs. They do it again, which admittedly a second time is kind of overkill, but whatever. Vicky gets super jealous. They cut to her. She like, you see it in her face. She's happy. She's like halfway up the stairs, and then she notices what's the hugs and all this stuff
going on.
And then she like puts like a scowl on. She backs away, and she's like very clearly going to make Kaitlyn's life hell for this.
Over the next few months, Kaitlyn would feud with Vicky on both NXT and SmackDown, including having several matches between each other, which I find interesting. On the November 30th season finale of NXT Season 3, Kaitlyn was announced as the winner, defeating Naomi to become WWE's, quote, breakout diva. On December 3rd, she appeared in a backstage segment with Vicky Guerrero and Dolph Ziggler and was announced by GM Teddy Long that she had been signed to the SmackDown brand. In 2011, in May, she formed a tag team with AJ, referring to themselves as the Chick Busters, which is a great name.
Well, I just put it together. There's the Dude Busters, so they're the Chick Busters.
The Chick Busters, yeah, it's
which
fun.
Is funny because
it's a fun
name. Why am I blanking on his name? Was a part of the Dude Busters. He's AW. He's former one half of the Best Friends.
Chuck Taylor?
No, not Chucky. The other one.
Oh, wow. We're both blanking.
That's what I'm saying.
My brain hurts right now.
Yeah. So I mean, and at the time he was dating AJ. It was him and Karen Croft.
Trent.
Why? Trent Beretta. It's Trent Beretta and Karen Croft. The fact that I remember Karen Croft's name, but not him. Yeah. They're the Chick Busters. That's a great name. I love it.
They were accompanied by their mentor Natalia. They lost to Alicia Fox and Tamina in consecutive weeks. They had a couple.
Fox.
They had some feuds, and then in August, AJ was betrayed by Natalia, who allied with Beth Phoenix to form the Divas of Doom. That is how the Divas of Doom started.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
interesting. The Chickbusters lost a lot to the Divas of Doom over the next couple of months. And
Understandable.
then in November, tension began to be teased between the Chickbusters as Kaitlyn began turning heel, being upset after losses. This is a very funny thing that I found from Kaitlyn's Wikipedia. So at the SmackDown taping on December 6th, after another loss, an evil Kaitlyn turned on AJ and joined the Divas of Doom, cementing herself as a villain. However, the segment was cut from the broadcast and not acknowledged by WWE. So Kaitlyn, for a minute, was a Diva of Doom, and then they were like, "Nah." What a
No, but that would
weird.
have been so good
She would have fit
though.
in so well.
Physique, look, like it would have made sense. You have two veterans who are like high level, and then you have this like
She
up
would
and
have been their
coming like
Roman Reigns.
talent.
She would have been their Roman Reigns.
Screw their Roman Reigns. She would have been their like Orton, Batista.
Yeah.
Like
Sorry, I went with a more
that's
modern
kind of
example, Grandpa.
all right. They wouldn't been the Shield though. They had like actual main roster. I'm pretty sure Beth Phoenix was the champion at that point.
On August 20th of 2012, Kaitlyn won a battle royal by last eliminating Eve to be the number one contender for the Butterfly title, the Divas Championship. Eve then started acting disingenuously towards Kaitlyn and Layla, leaving them confused. And then at Night of Champions, which is when Kaitlyn was supposed to have her title match, she was attacked by a masked villainess, causing her ankle to be injured, and she had to forfeit her opportunity to Eve. Eve would actually go on to win the title. Kaitlyn then stated the attacker was blonde, and that put Beth Phoenix in her sights. Leads to this match versus Beth Phoenix on October 15th, 2012 on Superstars.
Superstars. This is one of Beth's last matches in WWE, isn't it?
Until her comeback. I think so.
Yeah, I believe it is. Yeah, I looked at the dates and I was like, oh my god, this is like one of her last matches.
Yeah.
um, this I kind of want to say this is my recommendation for the week because I feel like the
Interesting.
actual recommendation is obvious.
It is. It's
It's
very obvious.
it's
It's great, but it's very obvious.
it's a hell of a match. But if you want, if like you are like us and you didn't get to see Kaitlyn in her original run in WWE,
Yeah.
this is the match that I would recommend of the initial WWE run rather than the short comeback that happens years
This is
later.
Beth Phoenix's second last match. You're right. And then she has a match 2 weeks later on Raw and then doesn't come back till the 2018 Rumble.
Hey man,
Crazy.
she's Beth's awesome, and you see it here. I thought this was a very good match considering the circumstances.
It's a 10-minute Superstars match. It's good.
Yeah, like this is, and I think Superstars at this point was like a web thing. Like they would just put it on WWE.com.
I can never keep track of the supplemental shows. I'm still like, where's
Um,
Heat? Where's
well, I mean,
Velocity?
it's 2012. It's not on broadcast.
Where's Jacked?
It's like they don't have a network to put it on. So
Arm drag by Kaitlyn. Phoenix tosses Kaitlyn to the outside. Kaitlyn's back in with a quick takedown, some punches. There's a commercial break. When we get back, Phoenix is firmly in control. We get a weird crossbody off the ropes by Kaitlyn. She's just
oh my
running the
god,
ropes and just launches herself
yo,
at Beth Phoenix.
so it's yes, it's a crossbody. It's 100% a running forearm. Like Beth Phoenix eats the forearm.
Yeah,
It's definitely because Kaitlyn tried to like move her arm across because that's how you do on
yeah.
a crossbody. You stick your arms out like this, and in the process of extending her arms out, just fucking clocked her.
Decked her.
I saw that. I was like, this is some shit AJ Styles is doing in Japan. Like,
So we're a year and a half out from Kaitlyn's debut. What do you notice in terms of the changes already?
her movement is so much
So
better.
much better.
Like, off balance crossbody aside, which admittedly I'm not going to put the blame on her.
I think a lot of it was just like she had more speed than she thought she did coming off the ropes
Yeah.
and couldn't get her body to where she wanted.
Well, she was already tripping going towards the
Yeah.
ropes because she like had to like slightly maneuver herself out of Beth's way to
Yeah.
like, I think she had to duck a clothesline or something at that point. And so she tripped like doing that because when you're going fast, you have to quickly change your direction in any way. It's your
Speed wobble, baby.
Screw. And then she had another change of direction because she went off the ropes and just couldn't really recover it. But I feel like most people in that situation probably bust their ass, and she didn't. So good on her.
True.
The moves are clean.
Yeah,
They were clean from the beginning, though. She
yeah.
just, has expanded her repertoire. She's no longer just
She's
kind of
hella
hitting.
strong. Like
Yeah,
everyone, I think when everyone thinks strong divas, they think Beth. Obviously,
yeah.
Kaitlyn was hella strong, man.
Kaitlyn, I would put right up. I mean, for especially for this time period where it's the divas, the butterfly belt. I mean,
Hmm.
it's like her, Beth,
And
Tamina,
Tamina, yeah,
and like you'd struggle to find a fourth one behind them.
probably Natty is the next strongest.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where like it's we'll talk about it more at the end of the episode, but like Caitlyn really did come around at a good time for her, I guess, because she got a lot of prominence and
Yeah, just not a good time in
she
terms of
was
women's
featured a lot.
wrestling. Yeah,
She was featured a lot because of the lack of talent around her
yeah,
and like depth, but she didn't really get to improve as much because of the state of
yeah.
women's
They
wrestling
just
at
didn't
that
let
point.
them do
Like
anything.
she comes around now where they are doing just a magnificent job of blending like these NIL slash like recruitment athletes that they're turning into wrestlers at the PC, and also like legitimate, independent women, global like
Yeah,
experienced wrestlers that they're bringing in, like your Julia, honestly, even like Roxanne Perez,
yeah.
uh, to like a much lesser degree. Like they're doing a great job blending that now. Like if you brought in Caitlyn in that position now,
She's
like
crushing it.
insane. It's
Yeah.
insane because like they just don't have people like that.
Caitlyn, the match ends with Caitlyn. She's doing like the head scissors stop. Someone's running into the corner and you're already in the corner. You do the float over and put your legs on their head. Classic head
Yep.
scissors stop. She then gets picked off the top rope when she's there by Beth Phoenix. Caitlyn escapes military press, hits what I'm describing as a bulldog off the ropes into a
Well,
pin.
it's the same setup for a Stratusfaction.
Satisfaction.
But instead of hitting the
The bulldog
bulldog
part.
like Trish would do, she just rolls her up, which honestly, very impressive to do from that position.
It's a cool move.
I like rewound it a couple times. Like,
I still don't get
I
it.
don't think there's a lot of people who can physically do that.
I
It
watched
takes
it.
a
I was like,
lot of like
I was like,
bendiness.
what the fuck did I miss? And then I went back and I was like, no, she just did it from that position. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I was like,
cool.
oh my god, okay, good for her.
We are going to take our first break after that match. When we get back, we have some matches with AJ Lee. Back from the break, if you're wondering who attacked Kaitlyn, it was Oksana. Oksana was the answer we were
I actually
looking for.
didn't know who that was. I'm very disappointed now.
Oksana was instructed by Eve to attack her Night of Champions, and then there was a whole brawl. It was a whole thing. On December 16th, Kaitlyn competed in the number one contenders Battle Royal to face Eve for the title, but was eliminated due to interference from Eve. After defeating Eve in a non-title match, Eve essentially just kept ducking her. Just was like, no. Every time they'd have a match, she would get disqualified or she'd just leave, which, again, great strategy if you're the champion. That's the way to do it. It resulted in Kaitlyn getting another title opportunity with the stipulation the title would change hands if Eve got disqualified or counted out, and they would have that match on the 20th anniversary episode of Raw, January 14th, 2013. This is when Kaitlyn shows up in what I think is the gear that I mentally associate with her, which is the black pants, the kind of like studded belt, a cut up t-shirt of some sort, usually like a band tee or like some sort of like local tee, and
Gloves.
the gloves with the blonde over the black hair. She's got a Texas shirt on because we are in Houston, Texas, which is her hometown.
Yes, she is basically one skinny necktie away from looking like Avril Lavigne, Hayley Williams. Well, you take your pick of mid to late 2000s pop punk icons.
And she is an icon. Both just like Avril Lavigne. And
yes,
just like
she too she was making those those songs as well. Like, I don't know if you knew this, she was like an underground queen.
If you're wondering, they announced during the show also that Mick Foley was going in the Hall of Fame because that's all they kept talking about in terms of like the trending Twitter topics at this time.
Just on a random Monday Night Raw in Houston?
Well, it's 20th anniversary. It's the January. That's usually when they start announcing people for the Hall of Fame. It makes sense to
20th anniversary of what?
Of Raw.
Oh.
This is the 20th anniversary edition of Raw.
Oh God, good for them.
I said that. God damn. Lock
hey,
in,
man.
son. I'm on 4 hours sleep. Lock in.
Yeah, but mentally handicapped.
Just
I took my
yeah.
pill, but like it's probably wearing out by now.
The match itself is good. Eve is not bad.
Oh, we never did an Eve
We
Torres
never
episode.
covered Eve. No, I don't think
We've
she was even.
covered a few of her
I
matches,
feel
I
like she
feel
showed up like
like.
once before.
She was definitely, I think, in the Alicia Fox or Maurice episodes,
Yeah,
maybe also Beth Phoenix. But no, Eve Torres, I always felt like, especially this title run, and I guess she didn't really stick around whole lot longer after it. But like I always thought she was pretty good. She was like, she's crazy athletic, and I feel like if you sort of like, especially at this time period when they were just taking like swimsuit models, just catalog people, fitness people, uh, like there is there is a certain prototype. I always felt like if you just had this natural athleticism to you, like
yeah,
movement wise, or just if you had this overwhelming strength, which I guess really Kaitlyn was kind of the only one that kind of fit that mold. I always felt like they could sort of translate pretty well. The issue is like they just didn't have that many. Like they had so many people that were just really conventionally attractive that never really got around to the actual like good
athleticism part.
wrestling.
Yeah,
Eve was one of those people who was able to translate her like crazy good athleticism because she's like a shoot dancer and stuff like this. Like
yeah,
she has, you see it in the match. She has really good footwork,
yeah.
which is obvious because she's a dancer. And like she sort of pieced it together. It's not the longest match in the world, but for
No,
what it was, like I thought it was pretty good.
Eve with the hanging choke from the top rope in the corner. It's just a choke using her legs for a little bit. Caitlyn gets to the ropes, does a roll up for a 2. Then we get a trio of clotheslines, then a scorpion death drop. I was like, hell yeah, Stinger. This is awesome.
I am just waiting for somebody. Honestly, I'm kind of shocked it hasn't happened in WWE, especially WWE. Somebody to just
Just
use an inverted DDT as a
take the
finisher.
move. It's a good move.
We have so many like people doing like Jada Parker, who is my favorite female competitor. I will not give my reason why. But it's pretty obvious. But like she does like a running like hip attack.
Yeah.
That's her finisher. It's
They
just a
love
running
they
hip
love giving
shot,
women running hip attacks.
which lethal weapon shoot wise, but like let's be realistic, in wrestling it just doesn't make sense.
It's
Just
not a
give
good
her
move.
give her the scorpion death drop.
Yeah.
What's wrong with her doing the scorpion death drop?
Let her do the hip attack as a setup and then do the
Even
scorpion death
better,
drop.
yeah,
Yeah.
hit back of the neck, boom, scorpion death drop, you're
There you
done.
go. Eve with some kicks from her back and then hits a spinning neck breaker. Caitlyn kicks out. Then we're on the outside. There's a great thing. Caitlyn gets Eve on her shoulder for a dropping gutbuster. Eve rolls to the outside. Caitlyn is sent into the barricade on the outside and gets dumped over. Eve then is like
Yes.
very proud of herself, kind of dusting her hands off and walks back to the ring. As her back is turned, Caitlyn scurries back over the barricade, slides in the other end of the ring. Caitlyn with like the Kevin Owens level, like I just know where I am. I got knowledge. I got this spatial awareness. Eve is just out and she's in the ring and she's like, yeah, count her out. Turns around directly into a very good spear.
So good. No, Caitlyn has an incredible spear, I will say.
Also is consistently spearing people who ragdoll so hard, and that helps.
I mean, that's most of the division.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
awesome though. She gets
She
the
runs
pin.
through.
She wins.
Yeah, she does win the WWE title here. It's in her hometown. Houston is apparently her hometown.
That's what I say.
They mentioned on commentary.
Gotta lock
Just
in my
just gotta reiterate it for the people. She went. It's a really big moment for her that is just not played up enough at all by commentary.
I have a whole list of people from Houston. I just pulled up the
Well,
Wikipedia
okay,
page
I
for
got you.
people from
Booker T,
Houston. They don't even like. I don't even know if they put Booker T on here, which is honestly disrespectful.
Roxanne Perez.
The
I know
only
she's not technically from Houston, but like that's where she came up.
the only professional wrestler that is currently listed under the people like notable people from Houston is Dilip Rana. You know Dilip Rana? You know him as the Great Khali. He's the only one listed, which is a crazy thing to say.
There is a Kali mention on this podcast later.
Of these people from Houston, I want you to pick your favorite person from Houston. Okay,
wrestlers or just
no,
in general?
these are all athletes. Or
Megan
not
the
athletes.
Stallion.
These are all just
Megan the
actors.
Stallion.
Shut up. I'm about to give you the people. You
I
choose
don't hear
between those two people.
Megan the Stallion. I'm not. Listen, I'm not wavering.
Paul Wall.
What it do is Paul Wall. I'm the people's champ.
Paul Wall or Riff Raff.
Wait, Riff Raff is also from Houston.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, it's Paul Wall. I'm choosing Paul Wall.
Paul Wall or Jim Parsons.
Unless it's like Megan the Stallion, which it's not going to be Tracy McGrady. I'm picking Paul Wall.
Paul Wall or Lizzo.
Oh, I didn't know Lizzo was from Houston. Oh, that's tough. I have to go with Paul Wall. That man like defined an era of my childhood.
That's fair. That's fair.
People's feelings get hurt when they figure out what I'm worth.
Paul Wall or Hillary Duff.
Hillary Duff is from Texas?
Apparently.
No, I do not get a single bit of Texas vibe from her. I love the Lizzie McGuire movie, iconic. I love the show as well when I was a child. Um, I did some of me and my girlfriend when we went to Italy and we were at the Coliseum. We did a little "Sing to Me, Paolo" type deal. You know
Love
the
that.
deals. However, Paul Wall.
Paul Wall or Wes Anderson.
Oh, son of a bitch. Wes Anderson's one of my favorite freaking filmmakers.
I love Wes Anderson movies so much.
Thank you for giving me Asteroid City and literally almost any other movie that you made because they're usually masterpieces. But I have to go with Paul Wall.
Paul Wall or Mike Jones. Ooh. Mike Jones.
Who? I'm going with Paul Wall because they go hand in hand for me because, Still Tippin' is the real reason why you're listening to Mike Jones. And
That's
Paul
true.
Wall is the best part of that song. But, however, Paul Wall also has his own career and he has Drive Slow with Kanye West and
Great
has
song.
an incredible verse on it.
Great song.
Paul Wall.
Paul Wall or Megan Thee Stallion.
Come on, man. It's Megan Thee Stallion.
Megan Thee Stallion or Beyonce.
Megan Thee Stallion.
Ooh. With no hesitation.
No, is that we may as well have done Paul Wall and Beyonce. I'm not choosing anyone over Megan Thee Stallion.
Megan Thee Stallion or Andy Dalton. All right. Let's move on to our next Kaitlyn match.
You're going to go Yao Ming for a second there.
In her first defense, she would defeat Tamina Snuka. Later that month, after she defeated Tamina at Elimination Chamber, they teased a storyline relationship between Kaitlyn and Cody Rhodes. Adrenaline in my soul. Something, Cody Rhodes.
I sent you this last night. So Cody Rhodes did an interview with Chris Van Vliet, and at one point he was asked what his favorite Taylor Swift song is, and he very confidently, after taking a little bit to remember the name of it, said "Style," which is the "You've Got That James Dean daydream." And someone made like an edit of it with the song playing and like different clips of Cody and pictures like spliced together. I just got to say, there has never been a more perfect combination of song and like aura. He is style. That is 100%.
Sure.
Like, I feel like there's a Taylor Swift song for everyone, but no Taylor Swift song matches a specific person more perfectly than style does Cody Rhodes.
That's fair. She ultimately decided against the relationship with Cody Rhodes after seeing him with the Bella twins. On March 25th, Kaitlyn brawled backstage with her former tag partner AJ Lee, faced her in a match, losing via countout. Kaitlyn got revenge on AJ in a mixed tag team match, also involving Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler. AJ then became the number one contender for the Divas title, and meanwhile, Kaitlyn began a storyline where she received gifts from a secret admirer. On June 10th, that secret admirer was revealed to be Kaitlyn! It's Biggie.
Evan, how you doing, by the way?
Oh, the New Day going to break up?
How you doing, by the way?
I've had a decade of the New Day. I'm okay.
I know, but I know it hit you like a knife to the heart when they were like, we never had these issues before because we had E.
We are gonna get the most fucking legendary Woods heel run, and I'm so ready for it. He's gonna be so fucking good. He's gonna be so good.
Yes, we saw it in the King of the Ring tournament a couple years ago. Like he
Woods
is
so underrated.
Very good performer.
He's so good.
Just let him go out there.
So the secret admirer was Big E, except jokes. It was all a mind game. AJ revealed it to be fake. Berated Kaitlyn. Big E dropped Kaitlyn in the ring. He didn't like hit her. He was like holding her all romantically and then just let her go. Very funny. It's so dramatic. Anyways, the match is AJ Lee versus Kaitlyn at Payback 2013. This is the obvious recommendation this week.
Really?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, for me, it was the last match. I thought the
No,
last match was the best wrestling match of the
last match. I'm
bunch.
going to talk about why that match is so cool. This is the match. Like this is if you're like, what's Kaitlyn's career's like peak? It is her feud with
Yeah.
AJ. This is the
I
match.
mean, yes, total package, it is
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
But I we did do an AJ Lee episode, and I feel like we didn't speak enough about this because I don't think I was ready enough to talk about this, so I didn't think about this in the moment. AJ Lee's like the most fucked up performer, like character wise, the most fucked up performer in the history of pro wrestling, other than the one Boss Man run for like 6 months in
Where he
'99.
was like, I killed your dog and stole your dead dad.
AJ Lee is like truly the Chuck Bass of pro wrestling.
Oh yeah, she's a
Just an
monster. It's awesome.
absolutely deranged person with one fixation only, and that is to make sure that they are good the entire time. Like, not good as in like a good person. I mean, good like they're all right.
Yeah,
Damn everybody else.
she
Like
says
psychotic to an insane degree.
she says, Caitlyn, you're just gonna go run back to whatever trailer park you came from in the first place. It's all a lot. Biggie at ringside just staring them down the whole match. They did not know what to do with Biggie when they brought him to the main roster at first. They're like, just be menacing. And meanwhile, he's the funniest human being of all time. And they're like, just be intimidating. He's like, I guess I am big. So
Like, I, I will never understand how you can have someone so entertaining and not let them be
he
entertaining.
should be president of Earth. I fucking love Biggie.
Like,
Put that man in
there is a
charge.
certain, it's like The Rock. Like, they did it with The Rock too when he was young. And I get it because uh you see a guy like that, you just expect, the look, all this stuff, like he's a good wrestler, you expect it to ooze off and the people to just go with it because white meat baby faces and all that jazz. And they had to turn him heel and let his charisma loose in order for him to like truly get over to a generational degree.
Yeah.
um it's like that with so many people that reach the top. And here's my issue is, why do we wait this long?
I think they're always just hesitant to pull the trigger.
But when someone's
Yeah,
charismatic to that degree because the camera doesn't have to be on. You just know them as a person.
that's true.
Everyone who gets to the top, it's because of their charisma. Like, you have your Austins, your Rocks, your even now Roman,
Yeah.
and all these people like Cody Rhodes, all these guys. They are all super. Like everyone says backstage, like they're great to talk to. Like they're really that person. Like they are that personality. Roman Reigns has been the locker room leader for the better part of a decade now, because he is like truly like a leader. He is the head of the table because he is the head of the table. Like shit like that. Like it's crazy to me that it takes so long for that to translate onto TV, and it's because they don't just let them go. Like they always have to pigeonhole them.
I blame Vince McMahon. The match. This is a complaint you and I have all the time. This match is the good version of it. Hey, if a match is a blood feud, you shouldn't start with a
No,
collar and elbow tie up.
we're not there yet, though. That's the thing. This is the first match. The second match is probably like they do have a rematch from this at
Mm-hmm.
Money in the Bank following this, which we'll talk a little bit more about in a sec. Not the match, but what leads up to it. And I don't know how that match starts, but if that match starts with the collar and elbow
Then
tie up,
that's
then I have a
despicable.
complaint.
But this match
This is
starts with
like,
Kaitlyn throwing her over the announce table. Great. She should.
yeah,
AJ Lee is 12 pounds. She should throw her everywhere. It's the
and
best.
that's also another thing. Like, if I'm Caitlyn, like, yeah, I'm okay with the collar and elbow lockup. I'm freaking twice this
Yeah.
woman's size. Who
Um,
cares?
if you want to watch this match, I recommend muting commentary.
Oh my god, what is it? It's like Cole,
It's Cole
JBL,
Lawler and
and
JBL.
King.
Yeah.
It's so bad. At one point, someone said, like, I don't know if it was JBL or King, but they were like, I've had 3 marriages and no
It's King.
anniversaries.
Is King. And then, so Lawler and JBL talking about how all women despise each other when really women just despise those men because they suck. Cole jumps in saying, we don't know what's going on in the minds of these women, or any women for that matter. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, this is a good feud. Could you just talk about the feud for once? Oh my God. And then the only thing that redeems commentary is at one point JBL says that Kaitlyn has a secret admirer that Monty Teo would be proud of. And I was like, oh, that's kind of good and topical at the
Did you say
time.
Monty Teo?
That's right, Monty.
It's Manti Teo.
Do I give a fuck?
Well, I mean, it's for sheer fact that no one will know who you're talking about if you say Monty Teo.
How many other people who have a name that's similar to that have fake fucking girlfriends? None of them.
Well, you also like said it as if it was one word, Monty Teo. That's some Italian dude from the fucking Renaissance, not some friggin' Hawaiian guy who played at Notre Dame.
AJ with the sleeper. One leg drop kick by Kaitlyn, which I thought she fucked up, but she actually just hit her with a one leg drop kick, so that was good.
Yes.
There's a good spot where there's crucifix by AJ. Kaitlyn just straight up powers out of it and hits a gut buster. I was like,
Yes,
they're so
firemen
mental.
carry gut
Yeah.
busters. We like those because you
Mhm.
know why? You get the leverage and you toss them up, and then they fall onto the knee. It
That's
always
right.
made sense to me, and they can't prevent it because what are you gonna do? Twist, then you land on your back, and that
AJ
hurts.
at one point smartly, like she crawls to the ropes after that, and what she does is she reaches through the bottom rope and starts to grab at the apron. So Kaitlyn runs over to like pull her back in the ring. So I was trying to pin her after that nice gut buster, and she grabs her by the belt. AJ's belt comes off, and as she's pulling her, AJ pulls the like ring apron up into the ring. So the ref goes to fix the apron because it's a distraction, it's a hazard, whatever.
It's
As
his
that's
job.
happening, AJ grabs the belt that has been taken off of her and just clocks Kaitlyn with the studded belt. I was like, this is smart. This is a fucking 300 IQ play.
Just saying. I grew up in a Latino household. That belt shot ain't doing shit to me at this point.
I am immune to the belt shot. What are you going to do? Hit
Into the
me?
belt shot. Yeah, please.
AJ's caught when she goes for a top rope crossbody because obviously, like I said, Kaitlyn's just so much stronger than her. Kaitlyn swings her around, but AJ locks into the Black Widow submission, which I forgot is such a good submission move.
Also, like, very fun counters into the move. Like it's one of those submissions that like has some genuinely great looking counters into it. Like this is literally Kaitlyn has her in like a power slam hold,
Mm-hmm.
and then just is clearly just trying to shift her up to get her onto her shoulders, and in the process, AJ just like finagles and like rotates and all this
Slides.
stuff,
Yeah.
slides around and throws on the Black Widow, which is like incredible. Also, I just love that the Black Widow exists. Like Numa Plata, which is what the move is called. Like Zack Sabre Jr. does it.
Yeah.
It's really hard to put on someone, which is why not many people have used it aside from AJ Lee and Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah.
But it's like a legitimate move that they use in like mixed martial arts.
As they
And
should.
it's like
It looks incredibly uncomfortable.
it's awesome, and I hope that someone someday is able to use it. Like I hope WWE or AW or whoever is able to bring in someone who can physically put it on because it
Fucking
can't be
bust it out
everyone.
in UFC, you cowards.
Let Roxanne Perez do it.
Kaitlyn powers out into a backbreaker and then just cuts AJ in half with a spear. It's such a good spear. But
Yes.
Kaitlyn makes the really rookie mistake, the emotional mistake. She picks AJ up and she blows her a kiss from her face and then pins her, giving AJ enough time to physically recover to kick out. It's good. We now know that Kaitlyn made an emotional mistake. She could have won the match. She had AJ dead to rights. AJ kicks out. AJ then gets up on the top turnbuckle. Kaitlyn goes face first into the post when that happens because she slides out of the way. AJ locks in Black Widow and Kaitlyn taps. And in an unfortunate ending, Kaitlyn has a full-on cry in the middle of the entry ramp. I think it was meant to elicit support, and the people, they booed.
Yeah, because you don't want to cheer for someone who's like crying like that. Listen, I just gotta say, like, I don't care if I just witnessed you have the most unfortunate thing happen to you. If you are crying like that, I'm just not feeling bad.
It's
Just
one thing to
cry
like
like
sniffle
cry
and cry
better,
as you
you
like
know?
walk away, but she like stopped in the middle of the ramp and was like, "Ha!" And just the people were like, "Yo, this is an uncomfortable level of emotionality. I'm gonna need you to move on.
Yeah.
I'm not reading all that. Sorry that happened."
Just like turn around while
With
with
the
like
tears,
normal crying
with
and
a
like
tear
just
in
like
your eye.
it's okay to just already be in the process of
You got a
crying and
you
then
got
you
a great De
turn.
Niro face. You know that? I got nipples.
Um,
Craig, can you milk me? Um,
you talking to me?
you mentioned
Are
that
you talking to me?
there is a rematch for these two. We're going to take a break. When we get back, we look at the promo that sets up that rematch. Back from the break, can I interest you in the first ever Divas Championship public contract signing? Because that's what we've got. This is the
Bang.
first one. They're like, women can sign contracts too. It's 1991.
I think women were signing contracts before
They
1991.
they better have. I don't know. I wasn't here. I wasn't alive yet. I don't know. What do you want me to read a history book? Um. So the contract signing essentially boils down to Kaitlyn's trying to get a rematch, and AJ's like, "I have all of your texts," and I don't know
You know,
why, but for
that
some
could be
reason in the
dangerous.
ring, there's AJ and Kaitlyn on either side of the table. Biggie's there, makes sense. And the rest of the women's locker room is also there, and Teddy Long. Teddy Long should be there. That's fair.
It's just like the Total Diva girls, isn't it?
It's all the other Total Diva girls. And I'm like, okay, that's weird, but sure.
There's everyone else. Where's Tamina?
AJ is reading the text that Kaitlyn was sending to the secret admirer, aka Biggie, on a burner phone. And here's what the
Which,
text said.
by the way, like if you have a secret admirer, like just I know it's wrestling. I know it's pro wrestling. It's a storyline. All this stuff.
Confirm the identity.
Confirm the identity. Two, don't confirm the identity in front of an arena full of people.
Two-factor authenticate all these
Yes.
people.
Natty says she's my friend, but all she ever does is talk about Kali, and then never trust a Neidhart.
Yeah, so she says, Natty
yes.
says she's my friend. She's always just talks about Kali. You know what they say, never trust a Neidhart. She says something about Naomi and Cameron only care about the reality show. The best part of this whole segment happens next. Kaitlyn grabs the phone and tosses it, and AJ goes, "Oh, Hulk smash!"
And it was at that point that I was like, okay, yeah, I see why her and CM Punk are still married.
And she
like
goes,
happily married.
It's okay. I have insurance and a family plan. Plus, Biggie is good with electronics and pointing at things. So let's put them on the Titantron." I was like, this is the funniest fucking thing I've seen. And I might have been just like lack of sleep delirious. But Biggie just going and pointing at the Titantron. He does it underhand. He goes like, yeah, it's over
while wearing
there.
like a freaking silk Hawaiian shirt or Caribbean shirt.
He's got a big gray button up, essentially. It's just like, it's a big gray striped button up that's like the style of a Hawaiian shirt, and like sweats on.
I just need you to understand that you won't know this because you live in Canada,
Okay.
but that is like what every single like Haitian, Cape Verdean, like
That's the outfit.
Jamaican,
That's the
Trini,
official fit.
like Afro Caribbean, like uncle or father is rocking at every cookout.
I honestly, it's a unbelievable fit. Biggie makes it look great.
I know this from experience, not like my family specifically, but like of cookouts that I have been to.
If someone put the texts from the beginning of a relationship of mine and put them on a Titantron, I'd jump out a window. None of us, we're always too sappy and too much at the beginning of a relationship. It's always,
Yes.
Oh my God, I would rather die.
Do you or your wife ever like? Do you guys still have your messages from when you first started dating?
I'm sure we could try to find them, but like not.
My
We have no idea
girlfriend,
where they are.
my girlfriend goes back and looks at our like texts from when like the first month or so of when we were like dating constantly. It's like once every like at least a month, and she like tells me about it, and I'm like, oh, cool, I was there.
Who said I love you first?
Oh, me for sure.
Oh.
I know exactly when it was too.
Oh, look at you! You romantic.
It was the day that the Jordan Poole like killed the Celtics and the Warriors won the finals, and I literally I had her sitting in the on the couch, this couch right here behind me, watching the game while I was depressed in her bedroom at the time. I was not living here yet, and I was there, and I was like constantly just like, what's the score now? And she's like 20 something, and I was like, fuck, like just distraught, like as distraught as humanly possible. And then after this, I told her that I loved her.
I love it. It's like, hey, do you remember when you told your girlfriend you loved her? So Jordan Poole, that son of a bitch, he was giving us the business.
He sent shots from like half court to close out quarters. I was like,
so good.
I just want to die right
He
now.
was another Splash Bro for a minute.
I got my ring. I don't care anymore.
Kaitlyn says it's not gonna, like, all this isn't gonna work on me. You manipulated me. I lost my friends, my title. I lost myself. I will never, ever Let a needy, clingy, man-crazed psychopath destroy me again. I will
Oddly
be
specific.
I will be champion again. You are going to end up rocking back and forth in the fetal position in a padded cell like the crazy, and then she gets slapped by AJ.
She was saying pathetic. She's halfway through the word pathetic, and then AJ slaps her.
Kaitlyn with the
Kate,
greatest strategy I've ever seen in a contract signing.
genius. Genius, no notes. Kevin Steen, pull it out one day.
Kaitlyn, being the strongest woman that you can probably find in the WWE at the time, shoves the table to trap AJ in the corner in her chair. Yeah, obviously. That's a great fucking plan.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
fantastic.
shocked. Like, if anybody, Dominic Mysterio, if he's ever booked in a match against someone bigger than him, which is some
Lots
it
of his
happens,
matches.
a lot of his matches are that way. Like, someone at the contract signing needs to do this.
Yeah,
They just do. When
100%.
Jacob Fatu wins the title and then Dominic challenges him, I need that to happen.
Jumps on the table, starts throwing hands at AJ. Big E drags Kaitlyn away. We get a slap to Big E and a cut
Dog
in.
shit.
It's a bad slap.
Slaps the dog shit out of him.
But also, we get a great spear, and that's great.
AJ takes these spears like she's gotten cut in half. Like, it's genuinely so good. And it makes sense because she's the tiniest woman to be able to take it, but still.
It's true. So she would lose the match at Money in the Bank, and on January 8th of 2014, Kaitlyn decided to terminate her contract with WWE. Her final match aired that night on Main Event, where she lost to AJ, of course. They were meant to do this forever. In her final address, she stated she will return to the fitness industry. She said in July of that year that she considered herself retired from WWE, planned to walk away from the wrestling business, focus on her marriage and clothing line. But then in July of 2018, she was announced to be part of the second Mae Young Classic. And that was pretty cool. In her first round match, she beat Kavita Devi. And then in her second round match, which is what we're covering right now, she goes up against Mia Yim.
Yes. It was a fun comeback. I remember when this happened because this is the second tournament. Yeah,
the
this is
second one.
the one with Tony Storm and EO in them. I thought that it was cool that she came back. One, because then I could like finally see her wrestle.
Yeah.
But two, because she had kind of been in the orbit of wrestling. Like she did do like she went and like did her own fitness thing. Like I think she has like a clothing brand, like a fitness clothing brand maybe.
Right now what she does is she has fitness and she does personal coaching, not fitness coaching, like life coaching.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it, like fitness is incorporated into that.
Yeah, and I think at the time she was married to like a bodybuilder of some kind of thing like that. And,
Yeah, she was
like, they
married
just
to
got really
PJ
into it.
Braun. They would get
He's pretty famous for that. Yeah.
They would split and divorce in September of 2017, and then since 2022, she's been married to an entrepreneur named Grant Ziak.
Good for her.
Yeah.
I hope that's going well. And yeah, like she did the physics things for a few years, and I'm happy that she came back. It was really cool. I remember when she got announced, I was like, "Oh, this is awesome! They're bringing in like all these like different types of talents from all different like age ranges and parts of the world and stuff." Like, yeah, I'm super excited to see Tony Storm and Io Shirai and all these people and Mia Yim too. Who I think this is her second. She was in the first one, but it's really cool to see her again. And you know, suddenly we've got Kaitlyn in here, and it's like, oh my god, this is awesome.
Here's the cool thing. Kaitlyn comes back with a whole different moveset.
Yes.
It's really good. I wish she was allowed to do these moves in 2011. What the fuck?
Hey man, she stepped away from the game. She learned more about the game.
Like,
it's just how it goes.
She comes in, drop kick to like basement drop kick to start. Just a sliding clothesline, a bunch of leg drops. I'm like, all right, these are all moves I've seen her do before. Immediately hits a cannonball. I'm like,
yeah,
shit, okay. Locks in up body scissors, and I was like, what? This is a whole different move set. She's just like, yeah. I went away, and now I brought a bunch of new tricks. I was like, this is great.
Mia has a hurt hand, which is the story of this match. Is that Mia's hand's taped up because she hurt it in her first round matchup against somebody. I don't know,
against Allison Kay.
She beat Sienna right away. Wow,
she did. Yeah, I went back and looked at the tournament bracket for 2018. There's a lot of interesting early matchups that when you look at it, like first round matchup between Tony Storm and Ginny, just like I just thought it was interesting. Casey
Wasn't
Catanzaro
Madison?
beats Raquel Gonzalez in the first round.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like early looks at people nowadays. Like Bianca Belair was like that, I think, in the first one.
Yeah. Gianna
And
Perrazzo faces off against Gigi Dolan in the first round, but that's when she was Priscilla
yeah,
Kelly.
and then now I think they announced the matchup. It was her against like Io or something like that. I thought that was pretty cool too.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool. Yeah, Io versus Gianna was one of the other quarterfinals. The quarterfinals were. I'm not going to spoil this one, but the winner of this match faces Toni Storm, Miko Satomura versus Lacey Lane, and then Tegan Knox versus Rhea Ripley. That's a great
Yeah,
final
I
eight.
think that Tegan Knox Rhea Ripley match is the one that Tegan like blows her knee up, and they don't actually end up like finishing the match.
Yeah, because I mean it's only 3 minutes and 14
Which is,
seconds, so
which is
I assume so.
unfortunate. But
Yeah,
yeah. She's in terrific shape, by the way, which is awesome
not a
because you
surprise.
see some really impressive shit from her this match. Like she goes for a baseball slide at one point. Mia grabs the leg, slams it on the apron, and then just immediately starts working over the leg. She does a ton of leg work, including a
Yeah,
leg DDT, which is great.
I
Love
love
it.
a leg
No
DDT.
notes.
Yeah, standing
No
leg lock
notes.
at one point. Kaitlyn does joint manipulation now. What? What?
Off of like the coolest shit in the world. So Mia's on top
Yeah,
of her doing ground and pound, like just like MMA ground and pound, which they say on commentaries because she's been like staying with uh Shayna Baszler and like the Four Horsewomen, so she's like been like
sick.
inspired by that.
Yeah,
So that's so she's got like a little bit of an MMA influence going. And she, at one point she goes for a punch in the ground and pound. Kaitlyn like moves out of the way and she just straight punches the mat with the hurt hand, and then
yeah.
yeah, this is where the hand manipulation
And
starts.
then
She starts squeezing it.
she starts like fucking up fingers. And I'm like, you been watching Pete Dunne matches in your spare time? Is that what you've been
Pita,
doing?
dude. Big
Uh,
progress, girly.
yeah, she's just been downloading progress. Um, Mia Yim reversed the slam attempt into a pin because Caitlyn's leg gives out because they're doing a really good job of selling both of them. Mia Yim,
Yes.
criminally underrated as just a performer for a long time at this point.
I love that
Um,
she's just been like sort of pigeonholed into this like street fight gimmicks where
yeah,
she's had like a handful of them
they're
over the
like, she's
last
got
few
a lot of
months.
bandanas, so therefore I'm like, dude, just let her wrestle. Like, what are we doing?
I'm okay with it. They've all been pretty good.
We get a scoop slam by Caitlyn. Mia Yim is looking for mercy. A spinning slam by Caitlyn gets a 2 count. Then
Yeah,
Caitlyn's
she does like an
downfall.
overdriver,
Yeah.
like a variation of an overdriver. I was like, oh my god, what?
Caitlyn goes shoulder first into this turnbuckle. I forget what Mia Yim calls it, but she hits eat defeat.
Oh, I forget what the hell. No, she calls it eat defeat. I don't
No,
know what she calls it now, but
Renee Young on commentary calls it something different, like a specific name for Mia Yim.
well, now
Yeah,
she
and
calls it eat defeat.
now she calls it eat defeat. Caitlyn with a huge spear, so good.
Massive, like absolutely cleans it, and Mia sells it so well.
But unfortunately, Caitlyn does not pick up the win here. What happens?
It's a near fall on the spear. She goes for a stomp on the hand.
Yeah,
Mia moves her hand, puts on a knee bar, holds it for a little bit until Kaitlyn, who has been selling her knee since that initial baseball slide mishap, is forced to tap. She gets eliminated, but hell of a showing by her in this tournament.
a fantastic showing. Since retiring, Bonin has been doing interviews and stuff like that. She was on a couple of covers of magazines, fitness magazines. Like I mentioned, she's doing personal coaching and training, both in fitness and in life coaching, which is very exciting. One thing I noticed, and I want to do this as a kind of wrap up here, she was ranked number 49 on the top 50 greatest women superstars that came out in 2021. This was a WWE Network special. I want you to tell me, I want you to keep guessing until you get one wrong. Women who appear in the top 50 women's wrestlers, like superstars of all time, according to WWE in 2021. Just rapid
Charlotte
fire.
Flair,
Charlotte Flair's 2.
Trish,
1.
Lita,
Lita's 8.
Becky,
3.
Nikki Bella.
Were they? Oh, the Bella twins are 26.
Oh, okay. I don't know why you put those together.
Me neither.
Asuka,
5.
Bailey.
10.
All right, well, it's 21. So Sasha,
Sasha is 6.
Ronda.
Ronda's 9.
Who the hell else would be on here? I'm blanking on women. Beth Phoenix,
11
Natty,
is 20.
Mickey James,
12.
Alexa Bliss.
13.
Did I say Maurice?
You did not. She is 37.
Now it gets dicey because I'm just blanking on people. Uh, it's freaking uh, Nia Jax.
Nia Jax is up there. She's 36.
Who has won a title? That's
That's
Nikki Cross. No, she hasn't won a title. Wait, no,
Nikki
no, no, it
Cross is
doesn't count.
43. You're good. You're
Oh,
good.
let's go. Um, 2021. Shayna Baszler.
Shayna Baszler is 18.
Oh, thank God. Um, Ember Moon.
Ember Moon is 41.
Uh, 21. Io hadn't been champion yet, so I don't want to say Io. Kairi Sane.
Kairi Sane is 31. Also, you should say
God.
EO because she's 25 and is the
Oh,
current
let's
NXT
go.
Women's Champion at the time that this came out.
I don't remember that. Oh, I remember her as champion. I don't remember.
I'm
her being
impressed you haven't gotten any wrong. I can tell you the only two in the top 10 you missed. The only two in the
Did I
top
say
10 you
Alicia
missed.
Fox?
You did not say Alicia Fox. Alicia Fox is not on the list. There
I
you
missed. Damn it.
go. Number 7 was Alundra Blaze, and number 4 was China. They're the only two in the top 10 you didn't
Oh,
get.
I forgot about China. Alundra Blaze is 7. We
7.
covered Alundra Blaze on here. As far as her WWE run go, WWF, I guess at the time run goes, she didn't do anything.
Ronda shouldn't be ahead of Bailey either, but I'm not going to get into all that. What did you think diving into the career of Kaitlyn?
Good. Really, really good wrestler.
I thought you were about to just leave it at good.
No,
Good.
really, really good. As I said earlier, like I really do think like if she had been, the same prospect that she was in 2010, if she comes along now, I think she could have been something really special.
If
Because
she
I
shows up
think
in NXT in 2016 instead of 2010, we're on a different time. Like even then, it's good.
Yeah, I just think now that they're doing this, they're putting a lot of an emphasis on the women on the shows. They're really doing their best in NXT, which I will give so much kudos to Shawn Michaels and whoever has decision and creative power like that down there at the Performance Center to book the show. Like they are doing such a good job of blending uh, the women into like the show. Like it really doesn't feel like it's dominated by like singles male storylines like it
Yeah.
used to be.
There are other things going
They're
on.
doing tag team stories. They're doing like mid card,
Non-title
top
stories.
cards. So many stories. Like I think the top story in NXT for a second there wasn't even like Ethan Page against Joe Hendry. It was like whatever the hell the blood feud Trick Williams had going on with like Pete Dunne or
Yeah.
like Roxanne and Lola Vice had a little thing going there. There's stuff going on like Mia Yim had a street fight with Jada Parker that was awesome.
Yeah.
That had no title implications whatsoever. Like they're just doing stuff, and it helps that they have that other show. I guess I don't know what it's called alongside it, but they really are doing a great job of blending everything together. So I think you get a Kaitlyn, you bring her nowadays, like she could have been something really, really special. I don't know if the charisma ever would have gotten there. It was really hard to find a promo for her, which is why I had to do the contract signing, is because it's literally the only thing I could find for her. And the only reason I found it was because I saw a thing of top 5 Kaitlyn moments that WWE put up, and that was one of them.
Fair enough.
So I just looked up this contract signing, and sure enough, there it was. Aside from that, there are 0 Kaitlyn promos. So I could not tell you what her promo ability is like, but it, based off of delivery of some of this stuff, it doesn't seem like it's 100% there. But at the same time, you don't have to be the greatest promo in the world to succeed in pro wrestling.
It's true.
You just have to have some it factors to you. And I do think that Kaitlyn, with her strength and that freaking spear, absolutely had something going for her. Especially nowadays, you put her in like a Goldberg, not even a Goldberg gimmick, but someone who just like goes out there, Braun Breaker style, beats ass and takes names and gets out. Like the women's division is always looking for like a powerhouse to like really come through and be this like explosive sort of unstoppable being. And that's what Rhea Ripley has been for the last few years. Kaitlyn, I really do think could have fit that mold, especially nowadays in NXT, even on the main roster. I know they have a lot of strong women, but they don't have many people, if any, that could hit a spear like that in the women's division. So,
and that's a good thing to have. All right. You should follow the podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Crossbody of Work. You should follow Javier wherever he tells you right now.
I'm going to show the people this week. It's
Holy
right here. I know
shit!
it's backwards. It's mirrored, but you can see it. It's at
J
J
Mello
Mello
Sports.
Sports.
Look at that.
I got a notification. Don't
God
ignore
damn.
that.
Look
You
at
see my
that.
name, my face, bio,
Wow.
all that jazz in there. In the
Well
bio,
done.
you'll see the @ for the podcast.
Wow. Incredible stuff. You can follow me on Twitter at @7gomes, ITSEVANGOMES. Follow the podcast
It's right
on
here.
Twitter. That's me. It still says Barry Windham is sexy in my header, which is fantastic. Make sure you're like, subscribe, rating, all that good stuff. We will be back next week with more excellent wrestling coverage.
Yes.
Time for everyone's favorite part of the podcast, though. Javier, any final words for the people?
This week with life. Jesus Christ. This
Try it
week,
again.
This week on Life Advice with Javier, there are just so many things that are going on in life right now. But I think that the one thing that we can all find comfort in is the fact that Sam Darnold is going to win the MVP in the NFL this year.
I'm going to cut you off. I swear to God.
And the reason why this is my life advice this year is because, like, hey, man, some things take time. Some things need time to develop. It's not always going to happen right away. You could think you're the best at math, and you get to a level and you realize you're not that guy. But eventually, it might come back around to you, and you'll be a grade A math student. I'm hoping that happens to me. Things sometimes just take time to develop. So, like, don't worry if you're not a master or like excellent at something right away. Just keep working at it. Keep applying the trade. Keep grinding. Eventually, it'll come to you. It doesn't have to be right away. It could be when you're 30. It could be in your mid 30s. It could be later on in life. Who cares? Just keep going. Keep applying. Keep grinding. Keep going, and it'll come to you.
That's why I keep thinking tall thoughts. I'm hoping I have my late 30s growth spurt. Can't wait.
Listen, man, Sam Darnold could win MVP, but miracles aren't happening.
How dare you? All right. Thank you so much for joining us as we covered the career of Kaitlyn. We'll be back next week to cover a new wrestler. We will talk to you then.
Skull.